Mijikamuna Mangandewana.
Uba? Unababa.
Kubijimuga? Hunimuvumwamara.
Uga. Uba.
Kupichiba?
Uma.
Kumijuba. Uba. Kupuchimu.
Ua.
Kuchimu. Kunibochu kuku.
Uba.
Kuchimu. Chikumu mumochibu. Kumbudu papa. Kuchimojo bobo.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Zogalis.
And I'm Lyndon Savanto. Welcome to Second Edition.
With Halloween out of the way and Christmas just around the corner, many people may not be watching their diets. November is Diabetes Awareness Month here at NAIT. Occupational health and safety nurses will be hosting a health promotion event to bring awareness to students and teachers about diabetes and how sugar and tobacco affect your health.
Is to make sure that you eat well and regularly and follow the Canadian Food Guide, that you have regular checkups with your physician, and your physician will do blood work and checks on that, and that you have regular exercise as well and maintain a good body weight.
On November 16th and 17th, booths will be set up in the South Lobby from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
A recent British study has found that alcohol is more dangerous than illegal drugs such as heroin and crack cocaine. Researchers compared several drugs, including alcohol and heroin, against each other and measured the effects on both the individual and society.
Well, I read some highlights about the article, and if they're talking about, in the article, they're talking about the overall effects of alcohol, and I could see that, the reasoning behind that, because alcohol is more easily accessible than many of the more dangerous drugs, and although some of the drugs you named are more harmful to the body, if you look at the overall picture of society, the health impact, the legal impact of what people do under the influence of alcohol, then I could see how it rated highest.
When considering the overall effect of the drug, on a grading system of 0 to 100, alcohol scored 72 points, while heroin and crack scored 55 and 54, respectively.
It's official, the City of Edmonton has waved its checkered flag on the annual IndyCar auto race.
Drivers, start your engine!
After a 3-year deal was announced in late July, with Octane taking over the costs and the city promising to pitch in $5.5 million over the 3 years, it was the City Centre Airport that finally killed the event.
It became apparent late last week that we were just at an impasse and that we actually couldn't come to an agreement within the money that I actually had to work with, which was the $5.5 million.
The city did not want to front the extra costs that included paving a new track at the City Centre Airport.
But going forward, I don't see council saying they're going to spend more money on this. I certainly didn't hear from a lot of our citizens saying that they wanted us to continue to spend cash on this, and I reflected that by saying no back in July.
With an estimated $12 million in losses over the last 3 years, it's doubtful the Indy will be coming back to Edmonton. Girl Guides got hands-on technology training at NAIT on Wednesday. Over 100 Pathfinders from Girl Guides Canada got close and personal with cutting-edge technology right here on campus. The 6th annual visit is part of National Technology Week. Sessions this year included programming a robot to sort M&Ms, AutoCAD, heavy metal failure investigation, and operating control panel and electrical wing. The sessions were taught by volunteer instructors and students from NAIT's School of Information.
Beauties of NAIT have emerged as NAIT's Next Top Model competition has begun. The search for NAIT's Next Top Model is underway and competition is looking fierce.
So NAIT's Next Top Model started November 1st. We had over 40 people sign up to participate. We had to cut that to about 20 models. So currently we have 18 models in the running online, so you can vote for them.
I want to be on NAIT's Next Top Model because I've always had a passion for modeling, and I thought it'd be a really fun experience.
Well, I saw the posters around school and I thought, what do I have to lose? So I tried out and I made it. it's really exciting, so.
The contestant with the fewest votes at the end of each week will be eliminated.
I'm in it with my friend Natasha, and we're hoping to go far. It'll be a good experience, I think, so.
You can help out Eve and Natasha by voting at natsa.ca. An international icon of the past is making a comeback today. The revival of a career has been making long strides in the last couple of years, and no, it's not Tom Selleck.
Big replicas of RAF and German warplane.
You're playing with toys like little children.
Movember is a fundraising event where participants grow mustaches to raise money for prostate cancer.
You know what? Cancer, it runs in my family. A lot of people affected by it, so I figure why not do what I do best and grow facial hair for a good cause, and that's prostate cancer.
Last year, the event raised $7.8 million for prostate cancer in Canada, second only to Australia.
It's a great opportunity to raise money for a great charity, finding money for prostate cancer, raising it I should say, and I just want to grow the facial hair as well, so it's pretty sweet.
So let your mustaches grow and help rid the world of prostate cancer.
Well, we've got Kevin here with sports. Kevin, I don't know, this guy's growing his cheesy mustache for Movember. Do you think we're going to see any of them around Commonwealth Stadium, maybe for the playoffs?
Well, I sure hope so. We're going to find that out on Sunday. I got more on the Eskimos and Ooks coming up in sports. The Edmonton Eskimos are gearing up for a Sunday tilt against the Rough Riders to wrap up the season. I came to practice to get an update on Ricky Ray and talk about their new running back, Daniel Porter. Star quarterback Ricky Ray has been sidelined with a shoulder injury since October 16th. I talked to head coach Richie Hall for an update.
Well, he practiced today, so that's a good sign. Something he hadn't done for the last 2 weeks, and, he looked pretty good, and we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Daniel Porter has been a dynamic addition to the Eskimos since being signed as a free agent. In 5 games, 3 starts, he has 67 carries for 450 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Only getting better with the more times he carries the football, the more confident.
Got a great old line. Hey, they blocking. I'm just getting running lanes to go through. You've been playing ball. It's almost easy going out there.
Nate is hosting the 2010 Soccer National Championship from November 10th to 14th. I caught up with the women's team as they continue to get ready for the big event. The Ooks are looking to avenge a close loss from Provincials to their rival, Concordia.
We played extremely well. We just didn't finish our chances, and they beat us in a penalty shootout. But no, I'd do nothing different.
The ladies are led by the all-time CACA single-season scoring champion, Leanne Caditz. She scored an incredible 22 goals in 10 games this season.
It's not just me, it's my team. If I didn't have the team that I have, I wouldn't be able to get 22, so they help a lot.
The Nate Ooks women's hockey team season is underway. I went down to their practice to talk to their coach, Deanna.
It's in 500 right now, which is not bad in, I guess, most people's terms, but we're expecting ourselves to be better than that, and we're looking to be better than that in our next 8 games.
The team is led by scorers Sherry Bowles and Jen Hancock with 8 points and 7 points respectively. After a great game in Chicago, the Edmonton Oilers look to keep it going as they face the Canucks at Rexall. Canucks at the Oilers will pick it up in the second period with the Oilers already down 3-0. Cogliano battle behind the net, hits down Alberts, gets it to Penner, wraparound, beats Luongo, and it's 3-1. Skip to the third period now. Zach Stortini, spin around move, gets it on net. Ryan Jones banging at it, puts it in, and suddenly the Oilers are only down by 1. Few minutes later, Cogliano streaking down the wing, cuts to the middle, dishes it to Brule, top shelf, beats Luongo. Incredibly, the Oilers are now tied. But just a little while after, Rafi Torres with the weak wrister, another former Oiler comes back and torches the Oil, and Tom Rennie just looks sick. Your final, Canucks 4, Oilers 3, Oilers lose a heartbreaker. I'm Kevin Snattersy, and that's all for sports.
Did you know time travel was never really thought of until H.G. Wells wrote the 1895 book The Time Machine? Did you know the further back you go in time, the smaller change you make, the bigger the outcome it will have on the future? This was first brought to theory in 1943 by René Barjavel in his book Le Voyageur Imprudent. Having knowledge of the past is called retrocognition, and having a knowledge about the future is called precognition. Did you know the main street in Back to the Future is the same street used in the movie The Gremlins? In the first Back to the Future, the mall that Marty initially goes to is called Twin Pines Mall. When he goes back to 1955, he drives over one of Mr. Peabody's pine trees. When he returned to the present day, the mall is now called Lone Pine Mall. Did you also know the nearest star, Alpha Centauri, is 4 light years away, which means the image you see when you look up in the sky is actually 4 years old? Did I just blow your mind? If you didn't know before, you sure do now.
Where beeth this?
What beeth those words thy speaketh?
I hath no idea.
Lord, what are thou shiny clubs? I don't know, Lord, but we must find out.
Lady, go find a shiny club that I must possess.
Edmonton is a city rich with historical treasures, but if you're looking to go even further back, this is where you want to be.
The Knights of the Northern Realm is a co-ed club that takes you back to the reign of good King Edward III in the 14th century. This group is host of a tournament, a medieval market, and a feast in March. And like true knights in shining armor, volunteer for charities and teach children the truth about their chosen era.
Because then we get to teach the kids real history, start to get them away from myths into something that's actually more exciting than the real world.
Not only do they know what they're talking about, but they put that talk into some fierce action. With fighting practices every Monday, these are not people you want to battle with. However, even the protection comes at a cost.
This style averages about 65, 75 pounds. It depends on the style of armor too. Like Sir Troy of St. Paul's armor is actually heavier than mine because he has more leather, so it adds to the weight.
These modern-day warriors supply the city with a passionate view of times past, keeping it from becoming time lost.
Okay, well, I guess what do we do now that we're here?
Our voices have changed again.
This is getting really weird.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah, I'm actually getting really hungry too. One thing I do like is that we're not saying doth and thou and everything anymore.
Yeah,
but we got to take care of this whole food thing.
That's just really weird. Well, how about you go to commercial and I'll try and figure something out.
Feeling a little blue? Well, nothing boosts your confidence like winning. And it's easy on NR92.com. Just listen or check out our website to win. Your winner with NR92.com, the station for the students, by the students.
NR92 is your source for all your campus news, sports, and entertainment. Top of the hour, every hour.
NR92, radio for the students, by the students.
Damn. It's all you'll think about.
All right.
Beware the Big Rock goggles. Big Rock, simply irresistible.
All right, gonna be my lucky day.
Hey bro, what you doing?
I'm just scratching these lotto tickets and watching the game.
Oh, no way. Trade you a Big Rock for your last lotto ticket.
Sure, man. I've been having no luck.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yes! $10,000! $10,000!
Big Rock, better than winning the lottery.
There's nothing to do online. I'm so sick of Facebook.
Try something new. Head to nr92.com. Log on for streaming music. New.
Welcome to Nate Newswatch.
Contest just a click away.
nr92.com, radio for the students, by the students.
Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Ernest. I'm your host, Darla Hutchings, joined by Chef Sheldon Polowick. Did your mother ever make you the best spaghetti sauce when you were a kid? Well, today Sheldon is going to show us the mother of all sauces. Isn't that right, Sheldon?
Yes. Today I'm going to be making the bechamel sauce.
Okay, and what is exactly the bechamel?
It's just a white thickened milk sauce. I'm going to start by heating up the milk.
Okay. And what temperature do you think is good for
you want to heat up just before boiling. You don't want it too hot, so you don't want it boiling, but just before boiling is right. Next I'm going to make the roux.
Okay, and that's just butter you're adding there?
Yeah, that's butter. A roux is equal parts butter and flour.
Okay. Does it matter what type of flour you use at all?
Yeah, it does make a difference. You want to use a bread flour or an all-purpose flour because they're higher in gluten. If you use something like a cake flour, you'll need to add more flour to get the same thickness in the final product.
Okay.
So we're going to whisk this for a little bit. You want to cook this for a couple minutes to cook the flour taste out of it.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I think we're going to add in the milk now. You never want to add in a cold milk to a hot roux, because what will happen is it will solidify the butter, and you'll have a lumpy sauce.
And how much milk are you adding there?
This is a liter of milk.
Okay.
I'm going to whisk this for a little bit.
And how long do you think you should whisk that for?
Only a couple minutes.
Okay, and is that on a high or low temperature?
It's about medium temperature.
Okay.
And we're going to add some spices in now. We have an onion with a bay leaf, and it's stabbed with 2 cloves.
Okay.
And we also have, we're going to finish seasoning it with some white pepper.
Okay, why the white pepper versus the black pepper?
The white pepper is better because it doesn't show up in the sauce, so it doesn't look like you have burnt or something like that.
Okay, and what was that you just added there?
That's some nutmeg and just some salt. And then you want to mix this up.
And you take out the onion before you make the sauce,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you want to simmer this for about 20 to 30 minutes to cook the flour fully.
This smells absolutely wonderful. Now that we know the basics, we have a finished product over here that we can pull in and show you. So you can see the spices and stuff in there. I'm Darla Hutchings, your host. This has been Cooking with Ernest. Thank you so much. You know what would be really good?
What's that?
Mom's sauce on our wild boar.
Oh, that would be so good. I think I just drooled a little bit on my loincloth.
Hey, what are those big box things again?
I don't really know. They look like tiny versions of that big thing we saw before.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Wonder what they'd use these ones for.
I don't know.
All right, see if we can find out.
Yeah, let's try and check it out.
Wow, a 2600. I miss these old Atari days. I wish I could go back then. What year was the first console out?
Yeah, the first console, Magnavox Odyssey, had its original prototype completed in 1968 and was released to the public in 1972. And there's Pong in 1975. This website's awesome. If you want to know what was happening in the video game world way before PS3 and 360, go to www.thegameconsole.com. You can look at different years to see what was released, and information on consoles of days long gone.
What would people do in such a futuristic place like this?
I don't know. And all these big metal things, they're rolling everywhere, eating all these people.
Oh man, this is weird. Oh, look at that big box up there.
Oh yeah. I wonder if anyone else like us has traveled through time and experienced what we're going through right now.
It did actually, 25 years ago when the movie Back to the Future was released. So this is a story about an 80s teen, Marty McFly, whose best friend just happens to be a slightly delusional inventor named Dr. Emmett Brown, or Doc as Marty calls him. So the Doc is always coming up with these crazy harebrained schemes, but the craziest, a time machine, built out of a DeLorean, which just so happens to be fueled by plutonium. But the plutonium is stolen from a group of Libyan terrorists. So when Doc and Marty decide to go to Twin Pines Mall to try and test out this crazy invention, Somehow the Libyans find them, and when they fatally shoot the doc, Marty hops in the DeLorean to try and get away and inadvertently sends himself back to 1955.
But when he gets there, he interferes with his parents' first meeting. Because of a picture that's fading in his pocket, he realizes that the farther away his parents get from each other, the closer him and his brother and sister get to never existing. But Marty knows who to look for to help him, Doc Brown. After a couple of failed efforts, Marty does manage to get his parents back together. With the past fixed but plutonium out of supply, Marty needs to find a different way to get 1.21 gigawatts of power to make the DeLorean run and get themselves back to the future. When they realize that lightning would do the trick, they set out to the clock tower and run wires to give the DeLorean a jolt and get Marty out of the 50s.
So Marty tries to make it back in time to save the doc from being shot, but when you actually see him get shot, the movie takes a hard left.
But because of this letter that Marty had written the doc before he left the past, he knew to wear a bulletproof vest.
So happy endings all around. You do really need to pay close attention to pretty much every line in this movie to really appreciate the ironic comedy. But overall, great movie. 5 flux capacitors out of 5. 25 years later, and it's still got it.
Gucci 먹어? Goomba. Ah! Gucci 먹어! Ah! Ah! Gucci 먹어봐. 구.
주민우 부부.
구마마, 구제바, 이모, 기원?